2021. So the first lesson that we're going to discuss on this subject is, what is science? Our home planet Earth has more events occurring in it than what we can imagine. These events involve living organisms, inanimate creatures, things which we can see, those which we can't, events that amaze us, and those that terrify us. The very formation of our Earth was another massive event. These events bring with it a large questions that arise out of curiosity. To explain or understand the world we live in or the world around us. If you have ever wondered what's going on and how these events take place, or why is it so, well then, you're not alone. These questions run in the mind of billions of people around the world, every second and every day. The answer to this question is very simple and lies to one word. That is science. Now, what exactly is science? Science is the study of the world around us. Through observation, experimentation, and analysis. Science is both a body of knowledge and a process. Here in school, science may sometimes seem like a collection of isolated static facts listed in a textbook. But that's only a small part of a story. Just as importantly, science is also a process of discovery that allows us to link isolated facts into a coherent and comprehensive understanding of the world around us. So I just gave you an idea about what is science. So now, are you familiar to the things that we can use and see inside the laboratory? Yes, that is what we call the laboratory apparatus. It is important to know the different laboratory apparatus and their uses because we're gonna use it during our experiments. So let's start. Safety goggles are required to wear in all chemistry labs. Not wearing them puts you in danger of eye irritation and possibly blindness in the case of an accident. A small droplet of acid could splash out of the container at any time. Better safe than permanently blinded. A beaker is a common container in most labs. It is used for mixing, stirring, and heating chemicals. Most beakers have spouts on their rims to aid in pouring. They also commonly have lips around their rims and markings to measure the volume they contain. Although they are not a precise way to measure liquids, beakers come in a wide range of sizes. Also known as conical flask, the Erlenmeyer flask was named after its inventor in 1861. It has a narrow neck and expands toward its base. This allows easy mixing and swirling of the flask without too much risk of spilling. The narrow opening also allows for the use of a rubber or glass stopper. It can easily be clamped to a ring stand, as well as heated or shaken mechanically. Also known as boiling flask, the Florence flask has a round bottom and a long neck. It is used to hold liquids and can be easily swirled and heated. It can also easily be capped by rubbers or glass stoppers. A test tube is a glass tube with one end open and the other end closed. The closed end is rounded. Test tubes are used to hold small samples. They are primarily used for qualitative assessment and comparison. A common place to see this is the biochemistry lab. When a large number of samples need to be tested and compared, test tubes are used to make this easier. They are also easily capped with a rubber or glass stopper. A watch glass is just a round piece of glass that is slightly concave or convex. It can hold a small amount of liquid or solid. They can be used for evaporation purposes and also can function as a lid for a beaker. A crucible is a small clay cup made up of material that can withstand extreme temperatures. They are used for heating substances and come with lids. A laboratory funnel is just like any other funnel except that it was designed to be used in a laboratory setting. They can be made of plastic or glass and can have either a short stem or a long stem. depending on what they are needed for. There are several sizes that can be chosen from based on the amount of liquid that needs to go through them quickly. This is a primary measuring tool for the volume of a liquid. There are several markings up and down the length of the container with specific increments. Graduated cylinders come in many sizes. The smaller they are in diameter, the more specific the volume measurements will be. A volumetric flask is a round flask with a long neck and flat bottom. It is used to measure an exact volume of liquid. There is a small line on the neck that indicates how far to fill the bottle. They come with special caps that will not let anything in or out. Droppers are small glass tubes with narrow tips on one end and rubber bulb on the other. They suck up liquid that can be squeezed out in small drops. This can be used to add an indicator to a solution about to be titrated. There are a very large variety of pipettes designed to accomplish specific goals. However, they are all for measuring an exact volume of liquid and placing it into another container. A burette is a glass tube that is open on the top and comes to a narrow pointed opening at the bottom. Right above the bottom opening is a stopgap that can be turned to control the amount of liquid being released. There are markings along the length of the tube that indicate the volume of a liquid present. A burette is used for extremely accurate addition of liquid. The ring stand is used to suspend burettes, beakers, flasks, and crucibles. It is above other containers, or in some cases, a heat source. Tongs and forceps are for grabbing things that should not be touched by hand. Some tongs are specially made to hold beakers, others to hold test tubes, and so on. There are also general tongs. Forceps are used to grab small things like solid chemicals that are broken into chunks so they can be safely handled and added to containers. Spatula and scopula are for scooping solid chemicals. They are typically used to scoop a chemical out of its original container onto a weigh boat so that it can be weighed on a balance. A laboratory thermometer is used for measuring the temperature of liquids. It can be made of glass or it can be a thermocouple made of different metals. A Bunsen burner is a mechanical apparatus that is connected to a flammable gas source. There is a knob to adjust the amount of gas flow and a rotating collar that controls airflow. These both must be adjusted to get an ideal flame for heating purposes. The burner is lit with a striker. A balances is used to weigh chemicals. The chemicals are always in some form of container and never placed directly on a balance. It is important not to move a balance because they have been calibrated for the exact position they are in. Some balances have plastic housing with small doors to keep air currents from affecting the measurement. Close these doors whenever the balance is in use.